Welcome to Heart Talks. Today I have a special guest. I'm so excited to have you on the show. This is Rashmi Khilnani, and we met at Facebook, and I appreciate you reaching out and doing this show with me. Rashmi is an author of 3 wonderful books. One is called Divine Mother Speaks. I love that one. Buddha Speaks and Shiva Speaks. And I hope to have a whole nother show on those books there. She's also an energy healer and a mystic and a visionary and has all those beautiful, wonderful goddess abilities. And I hope that will be another show. Turns out we hang out with the same masters. I love that. But she's also co-producer of a film called IGod, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And so thank you for joining me, and let's talk about that beautiful film and what we're hoping that it's going to bring to this beautiful planet.
Namaste, Sheila. Big hello from London, where it's pretty windy right now.
Yes. Climate is interesting, isn't it? And also, you are in London, and I am happy to say that you were not in that mess here a while back. So,
yeah, it's one of those crazy things that's happening, which is why I sold the roof over my head to co-produce and be the angel seed investor of IGod, because I was told by my higher self and Mahavatar Babaji, Christ Yogi, to work on the spiritual leaders of America and bring them together, for a film. And I thought, I met Woody Allen in London, and I thought I'd make a film with him. But it turned out that I went to America for my second book, Buddha Speaks, which my publisher had requested I channel a book after I'd done the Divine Mother Speaks. And he said, why don't you co-produce this film with myself and Neil Donald Walsh? And so I went to Oregon to meet Neil, and that's how it all came about. And this film is really very, very powerful for bringing peace within each heart and peace in the planet and more tolerance amongst different, denominations of beliefs and ideas and paths to the divine.
well, okay, so what I saw of it, what I love about it is that it sort of brings everybody together. It kind of includes all beliefs and really, really ties us all in together. And I think that was a fantastic move on getting all those perspectives, because we are one, and that is it. It's so much better to find what we have in common and not what we have not in common. And that was a beautiful part of that movie.
Yeah, thank you. It's also like the, for me, the stars of the film are the people on the street that we randomly interview, because, we're asking the same 5 questions to the specialists, to the heads of different religious denominations, and people like myself. I have the goddess, the Reiki perspective, the universal life force perspective, but we had Amit Goswami, quantum physicists, we had pagans and shamans, and we tried to bring in as many people as we could, because we had a very small budget. The whole film was made on $50,000.
Oh.
And all the, leaders like Deepak Chopra and Amit Goswami and James Van Praagh and Debbie Ford and Mariam Williamson, Alan Cohen and Greg Braden and all, they were in the film. They just did it for free. They didn't charge. And but it's the people of the street, that are being asked these questions, and they give these really spontaneous, heartfelt answers in the moment. They're just so surprised. And I think that's just really refreshing. And so there's a lot in the film for people at all levels of soul journeying, not just the advanced souls or the ones that are just waking up, but everybody across the board. And each time you watch the film, you know, you get another perspective, because there's so much in the film. It's not, you know, one off, like with the books. The books are also handbooks that you work with the rest of your life, even sometimes, you know, because it's multidimensional wisdom.
Wow. As co-producer, what was your part in that? How did, as a producer of these shows, I'm, you know, extremely interested in that aspect. How do you get all those people together? Well, because of the subject matter, for one, but.
Well, you know, whenever they tried to make the film for years and they couldn't get the right investors. And then I had to come to the States and invest so that the film could take off. And as I said, I sold the roof over my head to do the mission in America. And so that was a big calling from the Ascended Masters to me. But I feel the reason was because they wanted to bring the goddess perspective and a little bit more of the divine feminine, mother divine feminine energies, which is not a gender thing, into a pretty male dominated system, even of the so-called spiritual leaders of America. I hate to say this, but it's true. So even the women in the film, not all of them, but you know, a lot of them are Hay House best-selling, New York best-selling authors, and they have huge followings. But you know, to be a teacher, as you know, we do have to be more male in the orientation vis-a-vis that part. But you know, to bring that more Eastern mystical. So I would have made a film called IGod instead, because I feel this is now, after 26,000 years of patriarchy, a time to shift to the not matriarchal energies, no, but to the, you know, divine balance of the divine masculine and feminine energies. And so, yeah, that was the way it was meant to be. And you know, Neil knows everybody, and so we went to Chicago and got them all at the Celebrate Your Life conference, or whatever it's called, you know, and we were able to get it off the ground. But then it took Neil quite a few more years because he was busy, and I just had to be really patient. You know, my name is Rashmi, don't rush me. So we thought it would happen in 9 months, but he took a lot longer because he was doing the narration and so on of the film. It's really his film, but Bob and myself are the investors in the film. And Bob's son is the director, and he's award-winning director. So the team was extremely powerful, you know. And Robert Friedman, our other co-producer, is our publisher. He's my publisher and friend, and also has, you know, worked with me as I've been his mentor, and was asked to help to bring him on track because he was going to retire, and he was meant to continue to be one of the most important publishers of channel books on the planet after, Hampton Roads came to an end. And so that happened. And I was the first book that he published in his new company called Rainbow Ridge Books. So it was all meant to be, you know, and I was meant to keep going back to the States for Obama's election and so many other things, and to be behind the camera with some of the spiritual leaders, because, you know, even the messengers, you know, there's always a greater heart amplification that can happen for everybody. And so that was the role, and I was like, oh my God, you know, how is all that going to happen? But it did. And so here we are. I hope this film gets out there. They have been a bit, you know, I wish that the famous people in the film would get it out there a bit more. But, you know, I suppose, again, that's been my role in a way, to do these radio shows and TV shows. And that's my role anyways, because it's another platform to bring the ascension energies, the heartfelt energies for the world. It's not just about the book or just about the film. It's about every minute, every breath that some of us are here to help in the wake up of ourselves and others, for 7 billion to awaken to Christ consciousness, unity consciousness.
Yes, yes. It must have been, was there a point in that in making that film where all of you were able to gather in one spot, or was it sort of more of a tech thing where everybody was in their own spots and doing everything by computer?
Well, as I say, I went to Oregon to meet Neil because I said, until I meet him, I'm not investing in the film.
Right.
And so I met him, and then we had a 12-hour meeting because myself and Neil got on the same page where I wanted less time spent on the religious perspectives, because I felt most people know those upside down, and more time on the newer perspectives like the quantum physics, the energy mastery, the divine mother energies, the shamanic energies, the other energies. But we were overruled by Jonathan and Bob, especially Jonathan, our young director, award-winning. He made $1 million in the Super Bowl for making a $25 ad film, $25, I think. Very crazy. He's very, very talented, and he's won many awards.
Uh-huh.
So, Bob and Jonathan got their way because Jonathan said he wouldn't direct the film if we continued on that tack. And in retrospect, I'm really glad we got overruled because, I think that was right to even though people know, but many don't understand, the other religious perspectives.
Right.
And so that's where, this sort of film can really help to end situations, or at least alleviate, the terrorism on this planet and so many other things.
Right.
That's why, from my point of view, I made the film. It's not like there's lots of money in these things, though they could be, and which would help to make more film to help in the great, because I've been a philanthropist now for 9 years, and my money's sort of coming to its tail end because I've lived in hotels for 9 years. I like it as an urban shaman instead of in the cave in the mountainside. It's to be in the center of London for 24 years holding the energy of meditation and doing the morphogenic work. I think you follow what I'm saying.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's a very brave journey, and it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of trust. But I hope that our lives encourage everybody now to dance their dance, to sing their song, to write their poem, to follow their heart passion, and to achieve the impossible. And then it doesn't really matter whether it went out to 2 people or 10 people or 10 million people.
That's right.
Because in the new paradigm, it's not about just fame and name and competition and all those things, I don't know if you agree with me on that.
I absolutely agree with you. And I knew whenever I met you that we were going to agree on a lot of things because of for one, because you put your heart into your project, and because of that, I know the masters that you are associated with. These are, when you're associated with masters like Michael and Metatron and all of them,
Saint Germain and Avatar Babaji, Christ Yogi, Kuan Yin, all of them.
All of them. We do not take small projects. We take on huge projects.
It's huge. I'm cosmic wind in the Mayan cosmology. And that means, that I bring the presence of source with my presence. My voice has the gift to heal and shift people. That's why whether it's the written word, it has energy behind the words in the books. The Divine Mother speaks, the healing of the human heart. Buddha speaks to the Buddha nature within. Shiva speaks, conversations with Mahavatar Babaji. These are very simple, small books. When you get them, you go, is that it? But they are multidimensional, they're intense, and you just pick up a little line here or a paragraph, and it can shift your life forever. Absolutely. If you have free will and the higher good. So, nothing is, it's not like voodoo where you're fixed whether you like it or not. Your free will has to be engaged, as you know.
Right. And while we're talking a little bit about energies, let's talk a little bit about energies right now. Let's hear what you have to say about the incoming energies that are transforming us right now, because it is very, like we had said earlier, I feel like I'm moving so quickly right now. I have kind of a motion sickness going on in the last couple of days. And as uncomfortable as it might be, I'm in celebration of it.
Yeah, that's what we've signed up for as Ascension Pioneers. And that's a huge part of my mission now, has been since late 2011 particularly, but all our lives and many, many lifetimes. Some of us were literally born from different realms to come and bring very high energy of the heart. I was conceived by the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, and was talking to the goddess Hathor even when I was a little child. And I come from Venus and the higher realms. So as most of us do, but it's just a question of recall and remembering. And some of us are bodhisattvas, and everybody's waking up to these energies now. So it's really exciting, because this time it's about bringing heaven to earth. So it's about being very human and divine at the same time. So people go, oh, you're the goddess. And the next minute you're crying like a little kid, or getting mad or whatever. And it's like, yeah, there are no past examples for us, because even Jesus and the other great masters, that was the Piscean paradigm. And even Mahavatar Babaji in 84, when he passed in that body, born as an 18-year-old youth, not of a man or a woman, in a cave in Herakan. They were avataric energies, but it was still that time. This is another time. This experiment has never occurred on the planet ever before, anywhere in the universe ever before. So we are taking the baby steps, and some of us are literally the first wavers, riding the crest of the wave of the first wave. And boy, oh boy, sometimes it's like, why did I sign up to be such a pioneer? Why did I have to be the Christopher Columbus type character of Ascension, where everybody's going, no, the world is flat? Well, they're still saying that, many people.
Yes, that's the way to get people riled up.
Yeah, wherever the world is, it's like this energy is not just happening from the outside, which is like the whole New Age perspective, solar flares, photonic energy. It's happening within us, each of us. Everything happens from the within to the without. As within, so without. As above, so below. And so our DNA is moving from 2 to 12 DNA helix. We're moving from carbon to crystalline, as you know. And so can you imagine all the pressure on charcoal to make it into a diamond over eons? And now we're speeding up. Time is collapsing. The fifth dimension of frequency is the now moment, which is neither time nor space. And so, of course, that's freaky. And at the same time, some of us are bridges, so we're also being very human. We're also being very, and that is not just the bridge, but that's also the heaven on earth energy. So Jesus, went away and then came back and then walked the earth and so on. But now we're doing it in our bodies without essentially, passing over, ascending and then coming back and so on. Mm-hmm. So it's a terribly exciting time. But yeah, there are days like today, I just have to stay in bed quite a lot of the day. Yes. And take little baby steps, eat all kinds of weird things that normally I wouldn't be eating. Just follow my body, if it wants a bit of chocolate or it wants some crisps or it wants yogurt or whatever it wants, I just give my body. Yeah, because it's especially this year, I think the last 5 months have not been easy for Ascension pioneers. Right. And it's so weird because other people are not feeling it at all, so it's like, we're all in the same place, and yet we're not. It's like a whole lot of people that I've known that have been on the spiritual path for years, like my friend Michael, he's not feeling any of these symptoms, because they've not signed up to do that particular job, I feel. Right. I don't know how you feel about that.
Right. I feel like, I think it kind of has to do with the other projects we're on in other dimensions. I think that has a lot to do, not just the flares and all, and the energies coming in, but it's what I'm doing on other dimensions that actually wear on my physical body. And that's because we are integrating this physical body with our spirit selves, with our energy selves. And I actually, tell the universe, I know that I get little glimpses of what I'm doing on other dimensions, but it's probably better not to remember too much because, like, some days I have a hard time just getting the dishes done.
Exactly, because we don't want information overload.
Right.
And the thing is that we're now losing our memories, many of us,
Yes.
which I put on Facebook. I put a lot on Facebook, as do you. These love bombs and information bombs, not just my own stuff, but everybody's. And my own stuff is not my own stuff. It's universal life force energy. It's archetypal energies of the Divine Mother, etc., that exist in all of us. And I'd just like to say for our listeners, most of them know, but some don't, maybe, just to ponder and meditate the idea that the Ascended Masters, the Archangelics, all dimensions and us are one. At the center, we are the unified field of consciousness. At the periphery, we can be individual dimensions, planets, beings, and we're not just Arcturian or Sirian or Pleiadian or, we are everything. We are all that is. We're the whole universe in a body here now. And at the same time, we come from nothingness. And that nothingness energy is what I'm here to teach, particularly in the West.
Yes.
Because even the most advanced souls have a little bit of a problem with that sometimes. And so everything comes from nothingness to somethingness, And once I can be fully nothing, then of course I can be a goddess, I can be a fool, I can be whatever I want to be. But that is the bedrock of reality, is nothingness, black hole energy, void energy, shunya energy, Mahamudra energy. So just to always remember that we're all one, that Om Namah Shivaya means I love myself, honor myself, God, Goddess dwell within me as me, that Sheila is another me, everybody and everything is another me. And that the darkness that we keep pointing a finger at on the outside exists within each and every one of us. The reptilian energies exist within every one of us. And then it's, embracing, loving, transmuting, and shining light to come to a new paradigm, to a new choice, to a more expanded version or whatever it is we choose to be, to evolve or devolve. That is a choice. So I feel there may be some kind of split. I don't know how you feel. I'm hoping, and my mission, my life mission, my every breath is for all 7 billion to awaken. However, we have free will on this planet, and that's not changing, even in the new paradigm. And so we cannot force people. And those that continue to want to play out duality, dark, light, good, bad, right, wrong, mental energy, the mind is synonymous with the shadow, is synonymous with the ego. And a little bit of that is okay, like a computer, but not all the time, and not as the boss. So I don't know how you feel about that the darkness, needs to be embraced within and not projected constantly on the outside onto Trump and go. Because that's missing the boat completely. And that doesn't mean not being discriminating. That doesn't mean saying yes to every stupid thing, but to see where the false flags are, to switch the TVs off, to use discernment, to slow down, to connect to nature, to switch off gizmos from now and then, and connect to the organic energies within and without that are so simple, so loving, and reveal the truth moment to moment. And a higher level of the truth is always available as we move along.
Yes. I love the simplicity part. And I find it so ironic that it's one of the hardest things for humans to do, is to take it down to the simplicity level too.
And that's because of the mind, because for 26,000 years, the mind has predominated, the reptilian mind, the brain. And the Anunnaki were, very, very intelligent, but they're not emotional. So they're lacking the sensitivity chip. And so, that's why, because the feminine energy, the Divine Mother energy, the Goddess energy is nothingness, is receptivity, is embracing, is allowing. I did this allowance dance for 120, for the people in the workshop, but then also brought it for the heart energies for 120 near Stonehenge. And then later, these very sweet couple was saying, oh, we loved the allowance dance. And, so as the Hopi say, come to the center of the river, stop clinging to the sides, stop clinging to what you already know, and flow. And as you flow, see who's in the center of the river with you with the flow, and celebrate.
Yes.
Because the old is going, the 3D is collapsing. And what is 3D? 3D is the mind. What is the mind? The mind is the patriarchal energy. That's what's complicated. The heart is always simple. The heart always connects to all other hearts.
Yes.
And it doesn't go, oh, I believe in the goddess and you believe in Buddha and she believes in Shiva. And that's why I chose to be a teacher of Reiki masters, to be one of the top Reiki teachers in the world, because different religions had come and be a teacher of our religion, because I'm an old soul. I was like, no, I want something non-denominational. And then I found Reiki. And so that is non-denominational, and it's been a great movement on the planet to help awakening humanity to a higher paradigm. And so I don't know how you feel about what's going to happen with the people that don't choose to awaken now.
Well, on the path that I'm on right now, I am so making my world magical. I am making my world peaceful.
Exactly.
I don't allow those lower energies in my world right now. And I don't allow politics or religion in my world. And I've been doing my shows on all the tools that I've been using to keep this, because when I keep this good, we're doing it for everyone.
Beautiful.
Yes.
One person at a time, as I said in yesterday's radio show, beautiful gentleman who's also very connected to the Ascended Masters. And he said, what do you feel about this heaven on earth energy? And I said, it's not about everybody, you switch a light bulb on and then everybody's got it. It may happen at a certain point when we reach critical mass. And he was saying, like, where are we on the critical mass thing? It's not for us to get into all of that. Mm-hmm. He's creating heaven on earth for himself, and fully in service and in the radio shows and the music, and heaven on earth for himself. Yeah. I am, you are. And one at a time, as we are, we create the 100 monkey syndrome, and suddenly the fire, as Babaji says, he says, I just need a few of you, and the fire will go everywhere, and everybody will awaken. Yeah. And meanwhile, he talked about Mahakranti, which is the great war. And that war ultimately is within each of us, between our minds and our hearts. And to bring the two together, then the mind goes into Buddhi mind, which is covered in my book, Buddha Speaks to the Buddha Nature Within, where I ask the Buddha in current time how to bring the Buddha wisdom teachings. This is not religion. This is mystical wisdom of each path of spirituality into the now moment, into our mundane lives. Because we don't go around like monks with begging bowls and things like at the time of the Buddha, even though I left my kingdom of homes and so much to do this mission 24 years ago, when I became a meditator, to teach others meditation, then to learn to be a healer, then to teach others, and just reawakening to so many lifetimes and so many other dimensions. And of course, our soul brothers and sisters from other dimensions will be here, because dimensions will collapse into one, it's all one, really. So people go, which dimension are you in? And I mean, that's just a very linear way of looking at stuff. I think you really understand that, Sheila. So it's wonderful.
I'm weaving in and out of all of them all the time.
Yeah. And it's one at the base, it's that nothingness energy, 0 point energy. Absolutely. And as we become zero to the old stories, we can create the new stories. And we can create what we like, and we can make it simple. But if we say, no, my teacher, parent, minister said I'm not good enough, I can't love myself, and 26,000 years, look at the rubbish that's been happening, then that's going to continue, because what we believe is what we get. What we put our focus on is what we get. What we resist is what persists. Why bash up what you don't like? Why not choose what you do like, or what you would like to create? And then, like a child, make a sandcastle, and if it destroys or doesn't become the perfect sandcastle, it doesn't really matter.
That's right.
The whole joy is in the creation.
That's right.
Co-creation, and then, of course, then comes service, which happens when you heal yourself and love yourself, then you love others, then you meditate, then you get, then healing happens, and then you serve all, love all. and you still keep discernment. It's not like I love all, and so you just let people kill each other in front of you. No, then sometimes you say no, or sometimes you become the spiritual warrior. You have to, right? It's a balance. It becomes a moment to moment wisdom that comes.
Right. One of one of the things that I was surprised about, I thought by the time I got to this point that I would have a better idea of what was going to happen. What I have come to realize is that because I am in my own little world here, what's going to happen is what I manifest.
Exactly. And in the new energy, as in the fifth dimension energy, there is no what's going to happen, because that's the future, and the future doesn't exist in the fifth dimension.
Yes.
So you see, because we are both, we're still going, okay, what next, but there is no what next. It's moment to moment. And in the moment, whatever I choose to manifest, literally starts happening if I just get out of the way and don't have the expectation that it must, like a party trick.
Yes.
If I'm just an allowance, then either that or something better comes along, but my overall attention plus intention is service. My overall attention plus intention is singing, dancing, painting, writing, being the divine child.
Absolutely.
My overall intention is to hold Divine Mother frequency for all that are ready and come under my nose. So I don't have to worry about things that are happening in far-flung places. If it worries me, I just send thousands of angels to those places. And again, let them decide, because there may be a plan within a plan within a plan. So within higher good and free will, which are the Reiki principles.
Yes.
And so life is so simple. And even, it doesn't mean we're not being challenged. I mean, boy, oh boy, are us ascension pioneers being challenged. And but we've chosen these challenges, and we're in charge.
Yes.
And we can always go back to that 3D.
Yeah.
But I don't think we want to.
I don't think so. I'm moving forward at a pace that's beyond my imagination, and
it's about being creative. It's about beauty.
Yes.
It's about harmony. And it's about being authentic. And that means if you're imperfect, you're imperfect. This weekend, people were amazed that she's so powerful, and yet, she's got a bad hair days, and she can be the fool, and she's, joking about herself, and just being one with everybody. Yeah. Because all this being on a pedestal, and even if I'm supposed to carry this so-called teacher, guru type energy, or, transmissions, may it happen in a most ordinary fashion of a circle and not a pedestal. And because that pedestal now is for every human on this planet, to just take their power and their humility and sit on that throne of their own castle, and then invite others to come and share and celebrate and eat together. Because people call themselves spiritual and then they can't share their food with each other. What's that about?
Yeah. Well, listen, Heart Talks has always, it has never been about numbers. It's been about gathering and connecting with I believe everyone that I've had on the show, I'm working on a project on another dimension with, and that's why we make such strong connections. And when our hearts connect, I know that our listeners can feel it and can take it in themselves.
It's a transmission of pure love.
Absolutely.
And for those that want to doubt, they can be our guests and doubt away.
Absolutely.
And we are above the opinion of others. That doesn't mean that, we don't examine ourselves all the time. Healers and teachers must go to healers and teachers to stay honest, to stay clear, to have other mirrors, so that they are not, going up their own bottoms.
Right.
And, but at the same time, we just, we're being courageous, and that gives others permission to also shine their light. Right. Because for 26,000 years, we've been taught to dim the light and to play small and to have one shepherd and to chase that shepherd into the ocean, just everybody going down a tube together. Why? There's no need for that anymore. We're all Buddhas, Jesuses, etc. We're all who we came to be, unique individuals. We don't have to be a Buddha or a Jesus. We have to be ourselves. And we all have unique gifts, and together we form that unified field of it is heaven on earth. People, it's not about even believing it. It's about knowing it in your gut, in your bones, in your blood, in your heart. It's the simplicity of a child.
That's
be right. Like, to go through the eye of the needle, be, very simple and innocent as a child.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I love the heart connection. I love the film IGod. What a beautiful gift to give to the world. And I hope to have you on the show again where we can talk about your books and anything else that seems to come right out of us.
Thank you so much, Sheila. It's really been wonderful, and many, many blessings to all on the journey, for them to come into their own little spaces and expanded spaces of heaven on earth.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. From my heart to yours. Oh, that was beautiful.